Well. Oh, I don't know if this tablet's got enough space to record. Let's see how we get on. Studio's been massively revamped, but I can't be bothered talking about that, to be honest. I'm sick and tired of talking about stuff that isn't about making music. Bit chilly. In the attic, it's really well laid out. Both computers are on the same screens now, Windows 98 and the Internet PC, DaVinci Resolve PC. Not going to power that up now, doing a bit of editing. Let's carry on with the work. All boring stuff. It's got to be done. So basically it's Tribal Frenzy. It's the remastered version for Samurai Spirit. And I started the studio today, and it started first time. And it's been started on and off a couple of times, but you don't have a clue. Everything has been ripped out and redone. It's been a massive changeover. And now this is the first time ever since starting the Samurai Spirits video, a derivative of Tribal Frenzy, my very old song. This is the first time I'm really doing some proper work in the digital recording studio. Been looking forward to it, and I've always also been a bit nervous, got to be honest with you. And do I really just want to use the tablet audio? Thinking of the layout of everything. That's an interesting question. Actually, yeah, I want to stick to the work. Forget the mic. This is the primary objective. And all I'm doing is preparing the existing song for seamless integration with Samurai Spirit. That doesn't mean that's how it's going to stay, because even the Akai S6000 system files, program files, have been redesigned. And so that's what's leaving gaps and beats and loops and things. So I'm basically plugging in those holes before I even start constructing anything. Got my cup of tea. It's bloody cold outside. It's the 11th of October 2024. Got a couple of days off work. My little boy's at school, being a good boy. Emma's at work, and it's nice and peaceful in the back attic. SM Studios. Yeah, the website might not be there much longer. It is what it is. I'm so busy living in the here and now, I don't worry about yesterday, and I'm not worried about tomorrow. Be happy, people. So this is Cool Edit Pro. Sorry, Cakewalk Pro Audio 8 that I've been using forever. Same as Cool Edit Pro, same as Windows 98. I belong in the past. Damn proud of it too. Oh, don't get me wrong, now's alright. I'm not complaining. So effectively one of the beats has been strung out over two bars, but I've reduced all the loops to one bar. That's namely the percussion loop itself, that one. So I must have let it play for 2 bars in the original. But because I've rammed so much of the Japanese culture stuff in the sampler, I have to make lots of space. So that's actually why all this is happening. And if it doesn't work out, which is damn near impossible to be honest, I can always go back to the original song, which is kept on a file somewhere, kept the MIDI file, kept all the WAVs. But you know, it's 30 years later. That song is 30 years old and maybe it needs a little facelift. A bit of Japanese culture. And I do mean the true authentic culture. Not what the games industry is trying to do with it. Look, if you're going to DEI, you're going to DIE. It's fine, carry on. I'm sticking to the authentic samurai stuff, not the Western interpretation. Which is ironic, because I'm from the West. Hey? Doesn't matter. Know what's in your heart, know what's in your soul. Keep it there till you grow old and be proud and safe. This is boring, gotta be honest, but I actually love the fact that I am now working in the digital studio. I'm not enjoying doing this, but it's good grounding. I will tell you free of charge, the problem I had 30 years ago, I couldn't wait to hear a song finish. So I could hear the end result, obviously. Now I can't stand finishing a song because I continuously worry about all the other ideas that I excluded simply by coming to a conclusion of that particular track. That's the God's honest truth. I could take the same song and change it forever, but you can only do that for yourself. You can't do that for anyone else. They wouldn't understand anyway. Unless they had something like that they kept redoing and I don't mean remixing. It's nothing to do with that. It's infinite, and the irony is everything is, and that's the hard bit. That's the hard bit. There are so many different things you could make so many different versions of, and so many of them will be so good. So which one do you pick? That's the bit I hate now. And funnily enough, like I said in a video, there's so many Samsung videos I've made, meaning to make a podcast video or this video, that the new Griffin speakers, the studio layout, it's all changed. It's totally different. None of this stuff was originally on the surface it was on, but I'm sick of it. This is where I belong, messing with digital crap. So that's why you haven't heard much of me, to be honest. I've been so busy doing this and also working, of course, getting back to normal life. Now that my Emma's back on her feet, feeling a bit better. Right, so that's the whole song. That's the percussion filled in. In other words, when I transferred from Tribal Frenzy 30 years ago MIDI to New Samurai Spirit, Akai S6000 program files layout, because they've been changed, there was gaps. So that's all I'm doing now, filling in gaps. Le gaps, getting rid of le gaps. So wherever the percussion line is at the top, doubt if you're going to see all this. I don't intend getting too clever with cameras and what have you, not interested. I'm interested in seeing what this quality's like, and if this is any good, Emma's tablet can do the next res up. So that'll be the next thing. But I'd actually like to do some fucking music and not some fucking videos. Sorry, forgive the language. Sorry, YouTube. Oh yeah, and another thing. My son and I live streamed. So it's something you don't know. All this can now play through OBS Studio. Studio quality. So me and my son live streamed, but it's on private. I should make it public. I don't see a problem, because I doubt if YouTube would pull it down, because his dad was there and I'm an adult obviously and he's a minor. But when he made his own video after, YouTube pulled it down even though it was private. And quite right, YouTube, God bless you. Apologies, I didn't realise you need an adult in a video for a child under 13. But we live streamed and we were using the microphone from the studio, but it was actually feeding live into OBS Studio from the recording studio. So in other words, I could actually now play a live stream jam in real time to OBS Studio straight to YouTube. What I can't do is live stream video. Haven't got a webcam. I might just rely on Ninja that John uses, and you get one frame every 3 seconds, because the video is not my important bit, it's the audio. But of course, as with anything, you eventually raise your own standards, whether it's video or audio. So it's inevitable that I'm heading in that direction, but baby steps. It's always been like that with me. Track 2 I'm working on, Manic Beats, and I'm only filling in gaps. Not these gaps obviously, not the breakdowns. Oh, then I've gone back to the way I used to have things at Mum and Dad's house. Look, let me show you. Can I tilt this fucking thing down? Under here, my keyboard, under the table where it belongs, safe. Don't tell Emma this, or John, it's my little baby, it's my baby, all this is my baby's. She hates it when I say that, but I love her, she's my girl. that's something to do with the tom drums. Why is that? Okay, why is that like that? And again, this is the song that when I looked at it through the Yamaha Pro 1 mixer, it all comes through channels 9 and 10 as a stereo pair. I never ever did anything with it. So that's got one hit there. I don't understand why I would do that. Either that or it's a fault. And I'm editing stuff that's 30 years old, so you have to forgive me. I'm not sure. Yeah, so that is the start. I don't understand. Why does the distortion clear? Yes. Something's wrong in there. I'm not happy with that. Let's check the piano roll. Why does it start on the second bar and not the first? I'm not that mature, I'm not that clever to be that different on the beats. I'm pretty 1, 2, 3, 4, so that's not intentional. There's something wrong there. See, I could put one in. I could just fake it. Put one in and let's see how that sounds. I like that one. I do like. Okay. Control Z, Control Z. Right, listen to that. Something's wrong. Don't know what I'm doing wrong. Let's have a look. It doesn't sound right. It really doesn't. Oh, come on, kick in. I need to hear some of the beginning. And something else I've noticed, using Cakewalk Pro Audio 8, after using things like DaVinci Resolve, and along with a lot of other bits of software, it's so bad. It's old, but it's old, and I'm using old software. I know it's been updated and modernised, but I will not let go of my ISA card, and I will not let go of my Winman MIDI-Man 4x4. I want that card to live as long as me, so that's just the way it is, I suppose. This is not sounding right. There's something fucking wrong here. Oh, I wonder if the beginning of that's missing. Oh. Okay. Yeah, it looks a bit too small. It could just be that. Is it some of that's been chopped? Half of it's all the same anyway. Like I say, I don't think I ever finished this. Why would there be 2 bars empty? Why would there be 2 fucking bars empty? And I'm not just going to film because that is correct. That is correct. I just have, that is correct. So you just got to do that. You've got to continue it. I'm assuming. Let's try that. But it's. There's something wrong there. I'd have to go back to the original, but again, I'm not that bothered. I'm not that bothered because I'll be changing this anyway, but I still want it as close to the original as possible before I start playing. Can't figure out what the issue you see that change, there's nothing going on that's clever. I mean, there isn't even a breakdown, it's just different loops being played. So the one before I think it was just a mistake that I'd never spotted, but because you've got two noisy percussion loops on top of each other, I can even hear distortion, but I'll be leaving that in for this track because that to me adds to the energy of the song. But it looks like there must have just been an error happening, an error that happens a bit like when you cut, copy and paste and then it seems to delete certain bars that were previously there or what have you. Don't know, don't care, but I'm pretty sure that's the way it should have been. It's just a bit noisy to make it out. And the other thing I don't like about that bit, because I'm using the distortioned loops as well as the original loops, so I've got a derivative of the original manic loop and messed with them with effects. Because they're playing both at the same time, it's actually a bit muddy and noisy there, so there's potential room for space making. But when I add the mandarins, the violin, the Japanese instruments, Mika the man talking, I doubt if that'll be in the song actually. That'll be added probably in DaVinci Resolve. I just don't have the sample space because everything is in the gigabytes already. And I have 256 megabytes to make the song. That's it. Yeah, I could do it in Cool Edit Pro and stuff like that, but no, not for the chopping up. Not for that manic noisy shit that I like to make. Need samplers for that. You can't even do it on a PC. I mean, I doubt if many people make that. I suppose what I do is I take the recycled stroke drum and bass chopping up style and I just apply it to audio as opposed to beats, as opposed to just beats. Don't know. Somebody out there might correct me. Yes, I'm going to have to live with that. I can live with that because that's a structural change. I've renamed the MIDI file 2024 1011 Samurai Spirit, so I'll never overwrite the original. I always keep them separate. Every time I come up here, I don't do it every time, but I'm going to get in that habit, to be honest. For the size of a MIDI file, just change it, put the date in it, and then don't overwrite your old stuff. Always always allow yourself to be able to go back to a certain place. And I think because and then something else I've done, and this was pure luck. I mean, I never realised the versatility I was about to discover. But each PC has got an M Delta 4x4, so that's four digital ins. Sorry for the mumbling, and four digital outs. And if you look carefully, just down there, those two boxes are the M audio 4x4 ins and outs of each PC. And I accidentally discovered, just by moving two leads over, I could suddenly put the digital recording studio into OBS Studio. So that's how that happened really quick. So really all I should have to do is literally press record here, tell Cool Edit Pro start recording, and then when I play here, it should be recording digital quality, which you can see it is. And the funny thing is, I can do that now in OBS Studio. So whatever you've seen there is already being transferred to the other PC. It's just that PC's not on because I did some microphone recording earlier, and even that's improved. I mean, the silence you can get in this little room, it's quite amazing. It really is quite amazing. It basically signal to noise ratio, you know, when you record your vocals and then you listen back and you listen to the quiet bits, not the singing. It's really good. Very impressed. And that should be perfect quality, which I know you're only hearing through the tablet, but it is. It's a good quality. But we don't need that, so we get rid of that. Okay, back to work. I should turn the screens a bit. I'm not that particular. Again, I came up here today as a work day in MIDI, which is what I'm doing. See, that breakdown's perfect, and yet there's no clever construction. Look at the screen, you can see it. It's just simple yellow bars starting and stopping. There's no tiny bits of yellow. I did no recycling, cutting. It's just dropping in different things at a different time on a whole 4-bar loop. This song seems to really complement that simplicity. Something else I love doing to this song, and forgive me, not all of you will appreciate it, I absolutely fucking love it, it's just chanting. So a bit like the Aborigines do, North American Indians do, not making any sense, just freestyling a lot of moaning and grunting. It doesn't have to work with this song. Can you not see my eyes? Oh, you can see my gap though. You'll never forget JSM, eh? Don't forget, we'll start it up and we'll call it Fill That Gap Fund. Fill that gap. And it really works. The energy, and it's amazing, amazing. I love it when that happens. It's not something I determined, not something I planned. This song was actually written, and I'm not going to say I had didgeridoo in my head, the Apex Twin, but I loved the sound of the didgeridoo. And then when I had it on a sample CD, I realised instantly I want to use that sample, not go for the Apex Twin sound, but go for the Aborigine. So imagine being one of them dancing around the fire, and what did I want to hear in my head? And that's where this song came from. Weird, isn't it, eh? And yet it's done in a digital recording studio. Crazy. And I do remember that change. I've always loved it because it's so subtle, it's soft. It's a big change, but it's not done cleverly. It just drifts from one change to another. In fact, that was too short. If I play it a bit further back, and it's when it gets to the mouse. something I love about this song, never done it before. All this moog that I did in there, I even used it in the mix. I've used it everywhere. It's in Bang, it's in Ripper. I don't actually remake the samples. I use the same samples and just change the trigger points. I am quite lazy like that, but I don't mind. I enjoy doing what I'm doing. But I just love the way the moog sounds when you sample it and re-trigger it. It's not something you can get off the original software. I've never really been a fan of the effects on a moog as well. That's a weird one. I really only like reverb on moog with a lot of tail. So if I solo that track, this is the stuff that I would like to emphasize more of, and I hope it shines through in Samurai Spirit, even though it's not really a lot to do with it. I don't know. That's a dodgy one. Oh, sorry, wrong track. So it's got to be that one, and then we'll play from here. So that's what I mean, but I'll play that now with the beat and nothing else. So we'll solo those 3 tracks. And it's really funky. I love the funkiness of it. And I've just noticed, I don't know if I'm right, so I'm going to take the percussion off, leave the acid on, but also play with the distorted percussion. I did 4 different types of the percussion on top of the original. That's nice phasing, rough edgy, distortion clear, heavy synth. And it seems to start, well, let me just listen to it. No, I've just noticed when easy I am. Well, what was that message on my tablet? Didn't see it. Okay. That, on these slow acid loops, I've now just looked at the distortion clear. I can tell with the little lines in the yellow bar, it's the exact same, what would you call it, loop. That whole chunk of yellow data, MIDI starts and stops, is the exact same as that. I've just dragged it and copied it down. So I'm starting to realise how little I did on this song. I think I must have just chucked something together to listen to it. I've never touched it since. And that's why it only goes through the stereo pair 9 and 10. Honestly, so that whole from measure 471 to measure 487 is exactly the same. 47187, that's about 16 bars, isn't it? It's around 16 bars of 180 BPM. That's crazy. So that's why some things will actually, even though I want that phasing effect, they really do phase because they're being triggered at exactly the same time and stopped. Interesting. God, I was lazy in those days. Fucking love it. Okay. In fact, let me just quickly listen to the phasing with the original drum loop. Yeah, that's what's chucked me on the first time I listened. I've never started the phasing of the percussion loops on the beat. And because I am really that boring, I'm so used to things just being very simple. Let's keep it simple for Stu. Anyway, let's play it all again. And in case anyone's wondering, Yes, that's the Akai 6000 cover, and yes, I've got it on a very long extension lead. I say very long, it's about 3 meters, so your sampler can be all the way down there. That's the big benefit of the 6000. I didn't know in those days, I just knew what I wanted. But I would love another one of those. An Akai 6000, that would be 512 RAM that I can trigger and recycle to death. Wow. But it's a beautiful piece of kit. So that's all the way up here, but the sampler's against the wall over there, just below the mixer, which is over there, peeps. There's the 6000. There's my real baby, the 3000. You should hear that thing do loops, drum and bass. When I did the mix, that's what I used for the drum and bass version of it. Sadly, you guys can't get to hear that. I would only release something if it's unconditionally allowed, and it's not, so I can't go there. But that is a monster when you put the right beats in it. A monster. The 6000 can't do it. I don't know what it is. I've listened to the same. Nah, there's something. And a lot of people say it's to do with the bit mapping, the digital to audio converter. I don't know. I don't care, but I keep that baby there just for my beats. And then here I came up with another one, and then that's the Yamaha Pro 1. So that display is actually controlling that down there, or it's telling me what it's doing. But I came up with a really good idea. So when I did a drum and bass experiment, you have to bear in mind the mix, thanks to the singer who allowed me to use the vocals, I had about 3 years of ideas in my head because Emma had endometriosis. I didn't have a recording studio, but I had a lot of ideas in my head, and I've got to be honest, 90% of them worked. The Moog idea for the shuffle didn't work in the beginning, but I did it all wrong, and I've even improved on it since. I've just never implemented it, never had a need. If I need to make a shuffle dance song again or anything like that, I know exactly how to do it. Now I know how to actually change the keys and what have you. But I've never actually implemented that program file in the sampler because I've not had a need for it. I haven't got there yet. Yeah, so I was on about the beats, the drum and bass or jungle. I realised I should redo one of my songs, which is, I can't even remember what it's, Jumping. 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 Time after time I keep you jumping to my rhyme. And that song, with what I did to the mix with the beats, it's going to be deadly. It's going to be deadly. It's just octane on overload. I have noticed the music of mine that I love the most, it kind of meditates me. It puts me in a place of meditation, but I think it drives all you mad. And I remember a long time ago when I first watched my mate Mark, hi Evil T, nice to see you, love you loads, always will. When I first watched him playing World of Warcraft, when it first came out, long time ago, I said to him, you do realise when you play this game and you do an instance and all this battling's going on, that's the songs I hear in my head. That's the music, that's the kind of music I would love to make if I knew how to do it. And maybe Mantronics was going there. Definitely Apex Twin Window Licker, not didgeridoo. Very chaos being put into order. That's definitely a nice way to say it. Taking that bundle of chaos and put it into a structure. And that's the kind, and I said to Mark, that's the kind of music I'd love. He didn't understand a word. We just carried on drinking our Kestrel Super or Iranjabun, whatever. No, it was Kestrel Super in those days, wasn't it? So that song would really sound good, but it would be not everyone's cup of tea. Maybe hard drum and basses. But my drum and bass is more electronica. And I do appreciate that's not necessarily drum and bass. Please forgive me. You know, that's the kind of shit I make, electronica. But, oh boy, that song would be fucking nasty. Nasty. I mean, especially if I added the Moog with the heavy ripper stroke bangs feels to it, but I don't know. The problem is my songs will all eventually sound the same because I am really using the same samples. I've got a problem with this eye. There's a bit in it, keeps watering. So that was a thought that came yesterday or the day before. Maybe pull out time after time I keep jumping to my rhyme. And that's all I did. 2 little verses of vocals. and then it was mainly beats. It's mainly beats. 3 different percussion loops, triggered at different times. You liked that one, didn't you, DJ Baker? You loved that one, I remember. I loved it too, because the 3 different drum loops had their own energy, and when I switched between them but using the same MIDI patterns, wow, that was a weird effect. But now there's things I can do to the drum loops, just adding to them, that would impress you, trust me. Yeah, maybe one day. But Samurai Spirit's taking its time, I'll tell you that for nothing. See, there's a different bit. So I noticed that straight away. Did I just mute it? Yeah, ethnic didgeridoo. Right, these are muted. So the reason why I muted that, I knew there was a change there that didn't sound right. Let's see if it will play. It might not play because the samples might not be in the sampler. Bear with me. Let me go back. No, they're not there. Yeah, they're not. They're definitely not there. And I'm assuming both of those are muting the same MIDI track. Let's check. Yeah, MIDI track 5. So there's a load of MIDI track 5s, and some of them are playing, some of them aren't. So I can guarantee that will be a general SFX track. So that MIDI channel's just playing sound effects. One of them is like a wind chime bell, or a bell, or a gong, just a single note. But the reason why they were muted, let me do that again. Mute, save. The reason why they were muted is because one's the didgeridoo. Now you'll hear the didgeridoo occasionally in the breakdowns, because that was the original loops of the song recycled. I love doing that, always have done. But I don't want the didgeridoo in the Japanese version. But it might still end up in there. We'll see. I don't know. Never say never, I say. So I took the didgeridoo out, but I also took another flute out. And to be honest, that flute might have to be put back in because it really has some sort of authenticity to it. My problem is I don't know if it's a Middle Eastern flute, a Chinese flute, Japanese flute. I don't know. Western flute, don't know. I'm not really that bothered, but I genuinely don't know. And I'm desperately trying to keep the Samurai Spirit to an authentic Chinese feel. And as I'm sitting here, I'm realizing I could have run that PC, put DaVinci Resolve on to show you the Samurai Spirit videos, just switching between each other. I didn't do any clever editing. I just relied on the AI for that. And some of that stuff's on my YouTube channel, so you can hear the original Tribal Frenzy, and you can see a little bit of some of the Samurai Spirit video. I don't know how much I put up. But yeah, I did take out the didgeridoo. I did take out the flute. I had to crunch down the, I hate that, the Moog, turning it to mono. I hate that because I do have stereo Moog. A bit like, well, it's just basically effects applied to the Moog, and you keep the stereo dynamics. But I had to switch to the monos to get the Japanese feel stuff in. Haven't decided what's happening there yet. I'll wait for another day. Maybe Santa will bring me another 6,000. Another baby for me to look after, Emma. Another baby. Don't think she's going to appreciate that, though. Christmas, 6,000, I love you, darling. I love you. Yeah. Pigs flying, mate. Pigs flying. Okay. I like that shape. It's nice. Very soft, very subtle. But again, I'm used to hearing the didgeridoo kick in there, the authentic one, not the sampled up by me, and the flute. So I have to I have to tolerate that change for now. So this song is 12 minutes long. A bit fucking long, isn't it? Yeah, so I filled in the gaps with the manic beats. That's okay. I didn't do anything exciting, anything clever. All it was the MIDI signal was playing for 8 bars, but the actual original sample had been reduced to 4 bars, space, and all my samples are in stereo in the sampler. Okay, some are in mono, the non-essentials, but I've got a stereo original sample of everything. And again, I always am able to backtrack. So if I did have another S6000, Emma, I love you, Emma, then I would easily be able to fit it in. Imagine that, 2 Akai S6000 samplers, my baby, the 3000i, my baby, all going through a, God, is it another Yamaha? Yeah, Yamaha 02R96. Don't know why, I've always loved the thought of them. It's ancient now. Pick them up for a couple of hundred. Okay, the sliders might not move. All I do is look at old stuff. Always. Right. So now I know they're filled in basically. Here's what we'll try now. Let's press W. That goes back to the beginning. I've got to learn how to use Cakewalk Pro Audio 8 again. If anybody's got a manual that's 35 years old, any chance you could scan it or send me a link? That's a joke, because I wouldn't read it anyway. Just tell me. I have looked at the controls you can customize. You can't do a lot. That's what I love about things like OBS Studio. I haven't even looked, but DaVinci Resolve. Cool Edit Pro is really good. You can customize a lot of the controls. I never switched to Cool Edit Pro version 2, which would have been brilliant because you don't have to wait for undoing. But I've never switched because they changed certain things. You can't adjust the graphic instantly by pressing a number, and you can't have page up and page down for previous file, next file, because I sometimes work that quick it needs to keep up. I can't even run Cool Edit Pro on a SSD. I've never found a computer that runs an SSD that can run Cool Edit Pro is the way I like it. That's the best thing I'll say. Has to be on a spindle hard drive. Don't ask me why. Don't have a clue. Don't know. I just know it doesn't respond the way I'm used to. And my main PC downstairs, now this one is, yeah, OBS Studio PC and DaVinci Resolve for all the video. That'll do the live streaming. That has got SSD, so I just have to tolerate the way Cool Edit Pro works on that, which is fine because that PC is not for that. So, but the one downstairs that I use for doing the work, the EQing in my head and what have you, I just use cheap Sound Blaster, Logitech speakers for that. All that stuff, I do it on a spindle hard drive. I can't go to SSD. I tried it and it doesn't work. It's something just isn't right. There's a delay between hitting enter and Cool Edit Pro working, and it's just it slows me down. Can't work at that speed. Right, where was I? What I could do, I don't even think this Akai 6000 has been told about all the other instruments that have been added. I don't know. I'm going to have to go down, have a look. So obviously I've taken a very old setup and tried to modernize it. And I'm actually going to have to learn. Yeah, the keyboard's not even on, is it? So if I pull this keyboard out, the only problem I made here, but this is easily reversible. The table is a perfect height, but because of the depth for the keyboard, your knees are a bit struggling underneath. So the table needs to be lifted up by about an inch, a couple of inches. So I need to get some spaces under the legs, which is easy peasy. Just, I don't want to do that yet. I want to use it 3-6 months, then decide what I do next. So that's it. It's already talking to the studio. And again, all the cables have been routed. The audio's around the top of the room or dragged on the floor, but nowhere near the MIDI and the power. Just keeping the signal loss, keeping the signals as clean as possible. That's all. Right, that's it. That's SFX, isn't it? So. Yeah, that's all MIDI 5. So you see, that's how I started a long time ago. I knew I wanted grunts and chants, but now I also want sort of, which is probably more North American Indian, but not for the samurai spirit, obviously. Just playing around. That's all I mean. So that's called echo acid, slow acid loops. Listen to the meat and 2 veg in that. You won't hear it obviously because of the speakers. That's the point. How much space have we got? 42. Yeah, it's been recording 52 minutes. Love this. Love the feel of the Moog when you pitch it down like that. Slow it down. Sorry. Slow acid loops high. So you see, I've dedicated 3 channels, MIDI channels, just to echo loops. And knowing me, there's probably 32 in each one. That's how fanatical I am. But of course, that's what fills your sampler up. Yeah, I'm getting a bit lost in this. I think what I'm going to do is stop doing what I'm doing. Oh, wait a minute. No, that's the Akai S3000 data. Don't think I got that far with that. That's for another day. But what I am going to do is look at the... So I need to turn this, make sure you can see me. I'm going to look at the laptop. It'll be interesting to see how I sound, because I'm at the other end of the room now, and it's just the tablet audio, of course. So, and now what I want to find out is what have I added late. Oh, I think I added it all in cycle. Cycle layers, violin, flute, and mandolin. Cycle A, B, and C. So cycle A, B, and C is... Oh yeah, they're on there now. So 7B, 8B, 9B. So the Akai 6000 has 2 MIDI inputs. MIDI input A, MIDI input B. 2 separate MIDI channels. Oh, not MIDI channels, sorry. What is it? Port channels. Is it a port channel? Yeah, well it's called port on Cakewalk Pro Audio 8, I suppose. Right, so 7B. So that needs to be... Yeah, so that's... Oh, they're there... Are they there already? Heavy synth? 789? Yeah, it looks like I put something in. I don't even know how to loop in this at the moment. It's been so long since I've used this. Yeah, and then if I set loop points, how do you turn it? Oh, it's that arrow, it's that one up there. Snap properties. Snap to 1 measure. Okay, let's try that. So now if I do, yeah, it's doing just 1. Let's have a listen to these. These are all the same pattern over and over again, I can tell. And I think the next thing, oh sorry, let's just move it down. move it down. So I'm just checking now that the 3 new instruments that have been added play okay. And then we'll set loop points. Right, so that is 7, 8, 9. Let's check the instruments because I haven't named them in Cakewalk yet. So it's violin, flute, mandolin. Violin, flute, mandolin. Oh, come on, come on, come on, for fuck's sake. Come on. Oh, violin. Flute. Mandolin. And I think so I've made a little trick. I've just copied it from there. I can even see it. So I've copied the information from somewhere else just to make a basic loop so I can hear it. That's all. I want to hear it on top of some beats. So let's move them all over until we get to some original oh right, they're above. Let's have a look at the top. Oh right, there they are. So the percussion starts there. Oh shit, now I've got to turn these loops. How do you turn loop off? There. See, it's that long. Alright, that's not going to play unless I take. Right, so they're all there. They're playing at the same time as the song. Oh, fuck. Fucking hell. It is so clunky to use. I'll get there. I ain't changing. Don't fucking ask me to change. I'm not modernising. I'm an old fart. Let's keep it that way, please. Right, so let's drag them back to here. So this is the start of the loops, the percussion loops. That's really what I want to hear it on. And then let's mute. And I don't need any changes because I think, I mean, don't get me wrong, I will make changes. Not that fucking many. So what it is, each one's probably about a minute, 2 minutes long, I remember now. And I want to be able to retain the authenticity while having the ability to recycle. So I just took the very best. I'm talking funny today, don't know why. I mean, I had a cold about a week ago, but there's no reason. So I want to be able to recycle but retain the original authenticity of whatever it is I used. All off, I think it was Pixabay or Pixaverse. I've given credits in the video somewhere and what have you. But so what I did is I recycled the whole minute, 2 minute piece. It changes in little changes that sounded quite unique. So that's what I think's going on. And what I do have to do, let's just make sure I get the right, do that. So if I delete all this, then if I put something in, so it starts there, and that is the beginning. Now it's no good doing that, it won't work, obviously, because I've recycled. Normally I've got the volume on 1, 2, 3, and obviously, and then MIDI at the highest is 1, 2, 7. Depending on how lazy I am, but actually this is not going to apply because the 6000 cannot do what I like doing. That's why I'm keeping the 3000. What the 3000 can do is it can have up to 4 loops in every single sample. And when you listen to my earlier stuff, you'll hear those 4 loops. And I hammer them. I hammer them. I just love that, feel that sound. I used to call it headlock music. Almost like your brain is sticking and stuck. Weird. Don't know what to say. So anyway, the 6000 doesn't do that. You only get 1 loop in each sample. That's shit. But I think of the I think of the 6000 is a workhorse sampler to trigger samples whenever I want them, and it does the job brilliantly. And maybe I'm wrong, you know, each to their own. I'm not going there because I'm happy the way I work. Some people say, why not get a PC? Because it doesn't respond the same way. The software, nah, forget it. It's not me. It's not happening. I need the hardware, definitely with the sampling. Right, so we can't just extend because it doesn't play forever. When I do that, so it stopped on that beat there. I'm not going to do too much of this because this will take time and needs to be done properly. So we trigger that there now, somewhere there. So I'm effectively rebuilding something I stripped down into individual segments. And I split it, I cut it, I spliced it at subtle changes that would be interesting to re-trigger. So you drum and bass heads would know exactly what I'm on about. Anybody who cuts samples would know. There's no rocket science there, guys. I'm not inventing anything here. I wish the fuck I was. How old am I now? Oh, I thought I was 57. But Emma keeps telling me I'm 58. 58 years old. Look, fill that cap fund. Chuck your money in, people. Right, let's have a listen. So you see, that's how I'm going to eventually build it back up. But it is working. So we've now got and this channel has now been called violin. So I'm going to copy that pattern. Where the hell is that pattern? Oh, it's down there, yeah. Because let's just delete the other two. Because they trigger quickly, and that's not what these tracks are going to need. I just want us to be able to hear this. I don't want to get too far into the construction. That's not what I'm interested in today. I'm more happy about the fact the studio started first time, a breeze. And also this layout, there's only 2 screens now, not 4. There's 2 PCs running on 2 screens. I wouldn't mind the 3rd screen. I've got a bloody good use for that, but that's for another day. And also it depends on the space. Could probably do it. I will try and get the camera to move around. You'll see the Griffin speakers on a table, on a shelf. There's a shelf over there. That's just using the same wood as the ceiling, but I deliberately made the shelves big and ugly so I could see what they perform in terms of functional use, not looks. Doesn't work with me. And I could tell you that story. I made a lovely shelf down the bottom of this is the back attic. And it was beautiful to look at. But I ripped it up 2 days later, thought it doesn't do what I want. It's all in the bin, gone. And so now I've gone back to the old shitty boards that you hold roofs up with. It's big and ugly, but boy does it do what I want. There's 2 PCs sitting down there that can now be covered with a curtain, and I might even build an extractor, but I don't think I even need that. We'll find out. I don't think I even need that. So I made 2 big shelves. The one that the camera you're looking through, the stand is clamped to, is next to the Griffin speaker, and then that one over there which holds one of the Griffin speakers, which a massive story behind it. Bumped into a guy who owned them. I ended up buying them from my work, and I work at Sue Ryder, so God bless you guys. I love working there. So I ended up buying them, and I met the guy, and he told me the story about the guy who made these. He had a tough life, but he made speakers in the West Midlands. So a guy from the Midlands building speakers, and in the end the cones had dried out. You know, the old problem with speaker cones, they turned to powder effectively. And when I tested them on the night, you could tell. So I ended up buying a kit for about £15, did that, and that was the first time I repaired my own speakers. So I don't know why I'm telling you about that, because I don't want to go on about the studio. But right, so now we're going to listen to the flute. So you hear the change was wrong there, but I don't care about that. That's proving the flute works, and it's all in the sampler ready. So it should start sounding really nice. These have all been dragged to the wrong place. Well, do not know what I did there. I think I've just jumped, yeah. Very clunky. Windows 98, cool edit. Sorry, Cakewalk Pro Edit. Cakewalk Pro Audio. Right, so I could put that in a set loop points. So you can tell that one's coming in too quick. So if I drag that out of the way, oh for fuck's sake. See, that's why I love Cool Edit. Look, I'm not speaking English today, just bear with me. That's why I love Cool Edit Pro so much, because I've become a part of it. It's become a part of me. None of this learning shit that I've got to go through here, this fucking garbage. DaVinci Resolve is weird. Adobe Premiere, I don't know what you guys are doing, but as long as I don't have to use it, I wish you all the best. You've got my blessings. But DaVinci Resolve, when I used that instead of other softwares, it works the way my brain works. Even though it's overwhelming, it looks bad, everything I looked at, there was a logical comprehend maybe. In Cool Edit Pro, I just seem to be a part of it. That's why I don't want to shift. Cakewalk, love it to bits. I'm sure there's some amazing MIDI suites out there, but if it can't run on an ISA card in an old PC that's 30 years old, I can't use it. So I'm stuck with that, I think. Don't know. What do I know? So anyway, back to this. So I'm going to try and find out. 1, 2, 3. So that's quite a big, that's all it is. It's a bigger chunk. Just after that bar. And I'm not going to be I'm not going to waste time on camera doing this too much. So yeah, you can make out what I'm doing, can't you? It'd be nice for you guys just to see what I'm doing, but I think most of you know all this stuff. Bit too quick. So if I zoomed in, the change was a bit too quick there. I'll get more. Yeah, I was wrong. I was probably wrong actually. I probably went the other way. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I should have dragged that one down. That was really good, wasn't it? That's very difficult to tell the difference. Let's play a bigger chunk and then I'll stop on that. I just want you to see what it is I'm doing. So I basically took a whole 1 minute sample, tidied it up big time, and one of them, maybe two of them, maybe all three, but I don't think so. Definitely two of them. You could tell they were recorded in a house or on the street. But I EQ'd them to a place where I was happy, stereo, reverb, bit of compression. Then I recycled it and now I'm building it back together so I can trigger it at certain points if I need to go down that road. Excellent. So the next change will be on that bar. So that's giving you an idea of what it is I'm adding. So I'm trying to modernize this song, bringing a different flavor to it. Yeah, not what that game's doing, you know, putting a black samurai guy in and pretending he's something and samurai aren't. What are you doing, guys? DEI or DIE? Pick which one you want to do and do it. It's weird. Anyway, each to their own. So now we've got the mandolin. Now I don't know why, but that whole bit's played without cutting off, which is a bit worrying because it might mean that sound hasn't been recycled yet. Let's have a look. The way to prove me wrong. Yeah. So I have recycled it as I'm going up and down the keyboard. I normally start in C2. Well, C2 sharp, sorry, whatever you've got, guys got. And I don't know if I did. I don't know if, yeah, it says I cut them up 32. So each one's been broken into 32 segments. Oh, wait a minute, is it? Okay, let's just do that. I don't know. Let's try and play it now. Why is that not starting on the beat? So how is that one different to the others? Why is that? Okay, now where the fucking track is. Where's the fucking track? Oh, fuck knows, right. Close that. Don't know what I did there. Control Z. Wipe my eye. Save. Bastard fucking thing. Right. Any chance we can drag this? Yeah, very clunky. Oh, there we go. Wrong thing I wanted. Yet it uses the same command to move as to stretch. Old software, mate. Badly written. So it stops. Let's drag it, make it longer. I've got a funny feeling this is the 2-minute loop long one. Can you imagine the sample space this is hammering? It's oh. I suppose I could mute the beat, but I don't actually. Now I've got to scroll up because I muted the wrong thing. So used to seeing the beat on the top. There we go. God knows what I did there. Let's try and shut that window down. Oh, I soloed it. I didn't mute it. It's going to be fun watching me learn this fucking software all over again. Yeah, that probably needs to be about there. And I won't get too anal about this, as long as I get close enough that you don't hear it in the song. That's close enough. And so as you can see, with 32 parts, you'll just see it's a bit like a step ladder. Steps, sorry. It goes up and up and up because I'll be triggering the appropriate part at the appropriate time. And then when you start changing the order, you'll get a different tune, obviously. Which is stuff that's how I've always made my music. Except the stuff I do live, freestyling. That's obviously different. I always seem to sing about the lordy lordy crap, don't I? Asher D and Daddy Freddy. I try and sound like them. I'm a wannabe Asher D and Daddy Freddy man. With a bit of Sly and Robbie behind me. On a MIDI keyboard. Come on. And to top it off, I'm white. Oh, Asher D and Daddy Freddy. In the summertime when the weather is fine, you can reach right up and touch the sky. Yes, I know they didn't originate the song, but they did a bloody good version. Anyway, so that's the 3 of them done. So they're in there. My only job today was to clean up the manic beats, and I've done that already, so that's fine. One day I'll get into it. The other thing I do want to do is listen to the toms, because they are going to be a big driving force in this. I think I went a bit over the top on the filters. So the filters in the 6000 were making the tom samples a bit brittle. So that's another job I want to cut down on. How are we doing? 1 hour 14. And again, I don't know if I'll use this video. There's tons of other videos I haven't used. Oh, that's a point. I dragged them over downstairs. So they all need to be put on the DaVinci Resolve PC. There's probably 10 or 20 gigs worth. And it'd be interesting to see what I chuck together from all this. It really will. I think I'm going to save that. Now I don't think there's anything else I've added apart from those 3 instruments. and the sampler's got 17% wave free, 19 CPU. I'll give you an idea that some of my songs, when I've loaded the programs, and don't get me wrong, it's not because I'm doing anything clever, I am quite lazy, but I make my programs very easy to manipulate, so there's a lot of flexibility in there. You can do a lot of different things just by changing the volume, the key. Yeah, that's probably it actually, but it takes up a lot of program space. I've had some of my songs, when I load the programs, there's no more space for samples. That's mad, isn't it? So obviously I have to cut back then. And I even made a variation of the 1 to 32 samples that don't have the second key, because every sound I have must be able to be triggered twice, 2 separate keys, in case you want to overlap them. Don't know what else. Right, let's have a listen to that. Oh, let's put all 3 of them on. It should be a bit of a racket. And then let's turn off the... No, leave the grunts on. Turn off the toms. What's the bass line? Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Let's listen to the bass line. Wow. That bass line. That, I can't even tell you the name of the virtual synth, but it was free. And this was in the days of making this song, when this was done on a... Actually, yeah, it was done on a P200 MMX PC. So we're going back. And the reason why I hesitated, I was thinking, what's this one? This is the P3800 MMX. And I used to use a Windows 98 Sound Blaster card, but with, was it Windows XP drivers, and it still worked. But now obviously I've switched to the M Audio 4x4. Boy, those are beautiful. Those are amazing. Why didn't I discover them all that time ago? I don't understand it. It's funny that. I think once I had my studio set up, I quite literally disappeared from the world, honestly. I spent 10 years making music. Didn't find a gorgeous girl. You know, just like half of you out there. I didn't even know you were out there. But I did in the end. So that bass line came from a free synth that I just pressed record on Cool Edit Pro, played it, and then stuck it in a WAVs folder, which is where I keep everything. And it ended up in here. So if I loop 2, 4, 6, if I just do 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. What is the shortcut key for loops? Is there one? You'd think there was a shortcut. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Oh, why is it not playing? Oh, it's not. It's like the loop, right? I had a funny click on the left speaker there. Yeah, it's not doing it now. It's this bugger. I think it is. So this is my old Pioneer amp. It's not doing it now, but it will crackle at certain points on the volume control and on the adapter selector, which overrides all the inputs. So you've got tape 1, CD, tuner, phono, but you've also got adapter tape 2. So I use adapter tape 2 for Windows 98 PC and tape 1 for internet PC, which is OBS Studio, DaVinci Resolve, live streaming, blah blah blah. Right, okay. Oh yeah, put that on solo. So let's leave that playing actually. So that sounds alright. There's no problem there. I can easily see these working. Still a bit loud, but they'll work. That's nice, isn't it, eh? Top of that, in the video you'll have Mika the man talking about Song Tzu, The Art of War, and The Samurai Spirit, and I've got a load of that audio. I will be trying to make audiobooks, maybe with just running water in the background and children playing, soundscaping, which I've done tons already. When you hear the sword fighting that I did in the background, every single second of that is just an individual sound that I interlaced, overlaid, placed over another sound. Okay, there's some bits I took chunks, so I think there was a couple like sword fights and it goes on for say 3-5 seconds, but most of it, 99% of it, is me just taking individual sounds, watching the video and just building. Torture, get a life. And what else? There's also other sounds that I don't even know if they're in the sampler. I'd love them to be, but this is taking up too much space, this stuff already. But there's a load of Japanese people at a festival marching down the street and you can hear it, and I love it. So that will be added. I was originally going to do the violin, mandolin and flute just through DaVinci Resolve, because I don't need the sampler for that. But I just have to try this, otherwise I'll die thinking about it. What the flute, the mandolin and the violin sound like being chopped up. Might be garbage, but I know the didgeridoo worked amazingly. Loved it. So we'll see. I'm very happy what I've done today. What time is it? It is 1:10, unless that PC's wrong. I have been recording for nearly 1.5 hours. Do you mean I can talk that much for that long? And you guys are still here listening to me? Are you mad? Yeah, 13:09, so it's 1:10. Look, I told you it's on the 10th of October. Is it? Oh, sorry, Friday, October the 11th. So, I'm not lying, am I? Told you I knew the date. The setup is really good. See, the other speaker's right next to this, so I suppose when that speaker's been playing, it's right here, but you're not going to see it. So I'm touching it now with my hand. So that could have been distorting the tablet. I don't know until I listen back. Didn't want to record today. I mean the audio. I did intend recording a bit of video. What I intended doing was recording video and then using it as background while I'm doing something else. So that's not happening. Is that eye watering again? I'm afraid I've got a bit of grit in this eye from this attic work, and so I might have to go and see someone because it's been in there a couple of weeks. I've also got an issue with that one. Getting old. I like getting old. I don't mind that. I think we'll leave it about there. The layout's really more refined. Can you see my other baby over there? Where is it? Let me show you my baby. I don't know how to point to my baby. It's that one. Oh, it's there. It's full view. Look. It's my baby. Let me uncover my baby. Not the tablet on top. That's also one of my babies. But underneath it, it's my SL1200. It's my SL1200. So that's going to be on here one day. That's going to be on here one day. and we're going to get the Blue Dog mixer, and we're going to see if I can still scratch after 30 years, because I haven't done that in ages. And I'm getting to a place now. There we go, Blue Dog, is it? With the modification, do you remember? I don't know if I even put that video up, did I? It's been modified. I wonder who by. Well, and then we'll see what I'm like at scratching. And funnily enough, I did do a song that I thought would be really good with scratching in. It was a freestyle jam, and already I've even forgotten what that is and how long ago I made that. So today, before I even got here, where is it? So this is 2024 10/11 Newbies. So that's today, and I chucked together. Oh Lord, hear me sing my song now, Lord. Oh yeah, I'm sing loud for you, Lord. I bet all of you out there think I'm not going round this fucking house, you'll bash me with a Bible. Can't help it. The minute I go into that freestyle, wow. I wonder if it's tenor saw that influenced me like that. I used to fall asleep to Enya. I used to fall asleep to tenor saw. And also a few other people as well. But tenor saw, I loved his music, and it's obviously about Jah Rastafari. And I don't know if Ashidi and Daddy Freddie were about that. I don't remember that. I loved their music. I've got their album somewhere. Got Tenor Saw's CD, of course. But Tenor Saw was like my Bob Marley. And you have to bear in mind, I grew up in South Africa. I love Bob Marley. But when I listened to Tenor Saw, that was my Bob Marley. And it was just, he really... It was like going to church listening to him. But it was the 3 particular songs. So... Praise Jehovah, I can't remember. And I see the playlist's been taken down off YouTube, obviously because of copyright. You know, I honour that. But I've got the CD, so I don't care. I haven't listened to that for a while. Don't really listen to music like I used to. Don't even listen to my music. Isn't that weird? Why do I do this? And I'll go back to my website and listen to old tracks. Yeah, I might eventually just pull the plug on the website, because I don't spend any time there, and just do it on Telegram and YouTube, honestly. I don't have that much to say in writing that I would not rather do in a video. I much prefer videos. I much prefer freestyle. I've got no intention, no inclination to be clever and right. Sorry. It's actually a bit too much like hard work for me. I don't get the enjoyment of picking a pen and paper up, definitely not, or a computer keyboard, than I do just sitting here talking to you now, and you having to listen to me talk. I don't know why. I've always gone for people who speak spontaneously as opposed to reading from a script. Whether it's conspiracy stuff or just interesting stuff. I prefer it when it comes from the heart and not the head. Because the head, to me now, does just get in the fucking way sometimes. And I'm as bad as anybody. I say the right things most of the time. Occasionally I say the wrong thing. But it's always better when it comes from the heart. So this studio is now at a place where, and today is the first, where I've come up here and I have done some MIDI work. In fact, I won't exaggerate the point too much, but the only other time in the last 5-10 years I did any bit of MIDI was definitely with the mix, and even that was so minuscule. I just used what had already been done and looped it. Okay, I might have made... Honestly, I don't even think I did anything. I just looped the original track that I made 25 odd years ago, and just played with these signals that were flying between Cakewalk and my baby over there, the 6000. And I think that song was originally made in a 3000, my remix. of the singer. Yeah, wow. And I transferred it to the 6 to have that extra space. And then when I was finished with the mix, I wished I had 2 samplers. The other ideas I had in my head, you wouldn't believe. That's the first time in my life. Wow, how do I say this? This is why I'm going down this road as well. My head had already figured this out, but the mix concluded it. The source and the destination are the same, but it's the journey that counts. And what I mean by that is, you can start making a song and you can finish making the song, but the biggest problem is once you finish making that song, I go away and I think, oh, but I could have done this, could have done that. I didn't think like that before, but I can and do now. Because I know the minute you finish it, you'll listen to it and enjoy it and move on. But there could have been other ideas round the corner. And forgive me, I keep looking at me, not you in the camera. So that's what I learned. I already knew that, but I didn't know that. I was preparing for that. The mix taught me that. And I want to take that to another place. And so what I would love to do, say with this tribal frenzy, where is the other fucking screen? Oh, it's there. So say with tribal frenzy, get to a stage where I can freestyle, change what goes from there to there, and let you hear it in real time at studio quality. Well, that would be nice. Which it's all wired up now, so it was never wired like that before. But the minute I put those 2 boxes together, the M audios next to each other, coming from both PCs that use their own M audio 4x4. So that's 4 digital ins, 4 digital outs. You can literally link from PC to PC. I didn't do that. I just took the same signal into both. I realised instantly that's what I'd achieved without realising it. I did play with the OBS. Is it OBS Studio when you live stream and listening to the delay that all the streamers talk about? Can't fucking handle that. I cannot listen to myself a second later or what have you. No chance. I got John a pair of headphones that are wireless, and they do that, so he's not having them, not using them. You need to have your signals instant, otherwise it will affect your creativity. So it's really all ready. And like I said, me and John did our live stream. We had a little live stream. It's on private. If I make this video public, then I should make that public as well, and then I'll call it our little live stream, and you'll see that it was really good. Me with my 7-year-old son sitting there, experiencing this moment together. That's the other good thing about all this yapping I do. When my boy's a bit older, he'll get to see his dad talking crap again. And so will you guys, So will you guys. So there was so much work I've done, soldering wires, rewiring, rerouting everything. If you look around carefully, it's very difficult to realise that you've got 3 or 4. So you've got 3 or 4 MIDI devices talking to each other and they're not even being heard. And all that can be recorded there, and it can be recorded on these 2 screens in OBS Studio, because both PCs are linked to this. It's just the internet PC's not switched on. I wanted the quietness for the audio recording. So that's the other thing that I will do more of, because I can still see the speaker wires and I don't like that. I want it done in such a way to minimalise the mess and hopefully maximise the enjoyment and the pleasure of me sitting here doing this. Something else that was really lucky, when I put the tables up, so it's on bars that you clip and then you put the wood down for your shelves, I had enough gap for a thin shelf, and that's where all the spare wires get tangled up in and they get folded and lost out the way. Silly little things that I never planned or intended, but ended up being a blessing as a consequence of everything else I was intending to do. The 2 shelves with that shelf there, that's when I got those 2 up about a week ago, that's when I realised I was getting close to the end now. And on that shelf there, you'd have enough space for another tablet, and I do intend doing that. I'd love to be able to even get a camera on the S3000, maybe get the S3000 on this table and do some work on it and record and show you what I do. I'd love to do that. I was wishing I'd speak to somebody on YouTube, you know, like a Zoom or a conference or a live stream about it. And I was thinking of was it B-Biz, the guy who does the competition for drum and bass? I'm subscribed to him, Busy B or something, and he performs live as well. Because I think there's a way to make drum and bass that you guys have missed, especially if you got a 3000. You just didn't see it coming, and I saw it 30 years ago, and it's hidden in my music, in plain sight. No, I'm not a mason. It's there in plain sight. But maybe it's just not for everyone, using loops instead of recycling. So if you play the same cut sample 3 times, if you recycle the same part 3 in a row, you can do the same with a loop. And you can adjust the milliseconds to have it play 3 times, and you can have 4 loops in every sample. Have you tried it? I have, and I'm fucking good. I'm good at that, but it's not a commercial sound, obviously. I don't quite know what to say to listen to. If you want to, Ripper's a good example when you listen to the beats, and jumping. That's why when I heard that idea pop in my head yesterday, redo jumping, I thought, whoa, because that's already in your face. But I don't really like their lyrics. I don't like me going time after time I get you jumping to Mara. That's 80s, 90s or whatever. Now you need more lyric, more like Goldie. That would be a good idea. But I don't even want to do that kind of lyrical approach. I'm not even a ragga guy. Ragamuffin, come on. But I seem to try and do it. You got a white man trying to sound like a Jamaican. It's funny. But I've always done that. I don't know why. Ever since Ashidi and Daddy Freddy. But the funny thing is, it could also be the tenor saw, that influence, the reggae, the two-tone stuff, the version stuff from the 80s. Me and Mark used to go to, is it Tempest or Summit? It's not, it's not Discovery. It was across the road from the fish market in Birmingham. That's where I got my hat from. We used to buy all the ragga stuff, their reggae stuff. Wow. Loved it. We loved that stuff. So it's all ready for the next stage of where I'm going to go. Today is the first day I have done proper MIDI work. Oh, you haven't seen me do much though. You haven't seen, I'm telling you, that's the first time in 20 years. Everything I've done since, you might not realise, is less than what I did today, but also it's more recycling in Cool Edit Pro, where I'm a genius. I'm deadly. I'm deadly and I'm a genius when I'm in Cool Edit Pro. This, yeah, everyone's done that. The MIDI stuff. Yeah, but Cool Edit Pro is where I'm clever. I really do know my stuff. Doesn't mean it's commercial. Doesn't mean you guys like it. But when you know, you know. When you know what you're good at, you know. You humble yourself and you embrace and you enjoy that moment. And I hope to God all of you out there have got something that you are good at and something you want to be good at. Go for it. Do it. Be it. Know it. Make it happen. I had a week off work. Let me give you this as an idea. I had a week off work. And Emma was telling everyone at work, because she's at the same place, he's just always in the attic. He's always, and I was up here, I don't know, 10, 12 hours a day, non-stop, even between looking after John, to carry me and do most of the stuff. Actually, that's not true. We did do it all together, but I spent all my spare time up here. And the front attic was just like a bomb shelter, because all this stuff here, this side, so not the cupboard that you've seen in the video with this rack with all the junk in, but all this was in there, and this was empty, and I had power tools, all my 110 tools out, and I was building it all bit by bit. And the minute I came, and this is where I'm getting deadly with my music too, This is where I'm getting really good. And not all of you are going to understand this, but the ones that do are going to be good or better than me. This is where I'm deadly. The minute I came up with an idea that I thought, oh, that's got potential, and I'm on about building this attic, just bits of wood, nothing clever, I stopped everything else, switched everything off what I was doing, got the workmate out, got the tools out, got the file out, got the hacksaw, whatever I needed, and I tried it. And trust me, I made some mistakes. And they ended up in the recycle bin, not a problem. I love mistakes, because a mistake's only a mistake if you don't learn. If you learn, you become wise. That's the only way to become wise in my eyes. No book's going to make you wise. It's going to make you intellectual and more clever. Fair play to you. Not interested. So, I made some mistakes, but boy, did I make some silly ideas. Like here, there's a tiny little lead here with a jack socket at the end that I ended up robbing out the second new mark, because the second new mark's for spares. I got that for £20 and got the middle crossfader slider out of it instead of buying one brand new for £100. And I've now got the rest of it as spares. So I nicked the jack socket that was for the headphones, put a lead up by the speaker. So I've now got headphone plug there and that headphone plugged in there. So now we can have two headphones. That's me and John. Microphone in the middle, so the Boss stand can be stretched over. Don't like that. I really like the idea of having it hanging somewhere here or adjustable, but that would have to be a unique stand that can deal with that upside down. I'm basically saying silly little ideas that took me a stage further and actually came up with other ideas. And I'm getting really good at focusing on those ideas and stopping anything else, like finishing the song so I can hear it. Because my ego, and I'm clever, I want to hear, doesn't touch me now. Doesn't even come second, doesn't come near me. I've got all the time in the world, and if I'm not here to finish it because I die because I'm too, fine. That's what the time's there for, to make the best of it. So I know now how to harness that thought, manifest that thought, make that happen, even if it's not the best thing. That's what I'm getting good at. I've noticed that. I noticed that in anything I've done in the last 3 years that I never had 20 years ago. I'd be in the studio, no matter what I was working on, and I'm listening to stuff I like, and I'd have an idea and I'd think, I like that. Shut down, switch on, downstairs, and then I'll go to the dining room PC, which is where I work. This is just listening to the results, and then dragging a couple of MIDI files and triggers and what have you. And when I'm down there, that's on a spindle hard drive with Cool Edit Pro, Windows 7, runs quick, because don't forget Cool Edit Pro's 30 years old. And that's where I do the work for the songs. And it could be a silly thing like, here's an example, all the Moogs in this, I still haven't done it yet, they're all stereo samples, but occasionally some lean over to one side, and it's always the left. And then I thought, oh, so then all I need to do is take every alternate sample, so the third, the fifth, the seventh, and then flip the stereo. And that way you now have a drifting pan. And so I would literally, I haven't done that one though, I'm a bit of a contradictor here, but that would be the kind of, I think I came up with that idea after the mix, and I hadn't done anything for a while. And I heard it recently and thought, oh, probably Tribal Frenzy. So I've got a list of to-dos, and it's jobs that the tried and tested would know if you do them, you'll get the result. But the young, naive, wannabe, hear my song finished, will just miss. You'll just miss it, and you'll skip it, and you'll have a finished song and you'll like it. But there's those other good ideas in there. There's a bunch of them, and we just fly by them. Another example, Rhett Lee Butler, when we made that music before he died. God bless you, Rhett. Thank you for everything you did with me, buddy. Love you forever for that. What was it? I made a song, Make Me Wanna. And basically he wanted to work with me, and I thought, yeah, been there, seen it, done it. So I actually gave him a demo and said, there you go, sing to this. And I didn't think I'd hear from him again, because there's a difference between playing around and getting on with the job. And I know when to get on with the job, and I just know. And so anyway, he came back. I gave it to him the Friday. I said, there you go, mate. take as long as you want and I'll listen to it. Monday he came round with the tape. I thought, what the hell? Okay, I'll listen to this. And he did a damn good job. His singing was beautiful. I loved it. But he kept saying, Stuart, I don't like the bass loop. And I can't remember what it was. I'd have to go and listen to the song. I think it was just a guitar riff off a Future Music sample CD. Seriously. And we're going back, I don't know, not 80s, 90s? Or maybe I'm on about when the sample CD came out. And so he said, I can play and he played his guitar. If you want to know how good he is, go and listen to our NATO stuff, which I have set up a NATO YouTube channel, but there's nothing on it. I haven't transferred them. That's where they belong. And I was thinking maybe trying to make some videos with AI, but that's a whole new 10 years of work, and I don't want to do it. I've got stuff to do here. So, but the songs are on my channel. All the NATO stuff's on my channel and my website. Don't know how long the website will be there for. I've lost interest, to be honest. And he kept wanting to change the bass, and I said, no, you don't. And this was in the days of what was the boy band? Blue. Brilliant band. Brilliant. One of the best boy bands, because I like R&B, soul-ish, blues, soul, American soul feeling boy band stroke girl band. My sound, if I could make that for a band, would be American sounding. Even though I'm not very musical, I'm a genius in the studio, but I'm not actually very musical. But he just wanted to rip this, and I said, no, you're not changing it, because I wanted to sound like Blue. And he did a good job of it. And that's called Make Me Wanna. I think it's on my YouTube channel. It's definitely on the website. And he did a really good job. Tell you another story. Who was it? Not Liquidator, right? Not Liquidator. Max Romeo, Wet Dream. Oh no, I keep singing my version. Lie down, girl, let me push it up, lie down, girl. Well, I did a remix of that and sent it off for publishing clearance. And I think they said they wanted 100% publishing rights and 100% something. And I thought, what? So I've written the lyrics in this, and you now want royalties for all of it. So I just never got back to them. I never replied back. But he sung that. So there is a version of me. It's fucking bad. It's crap. But I actually, in the early days, the only reason why I sang was so singers could listen and then decide to do the song if they wanted. That's what my website was for. So other singers, and I even tried through the Musicians Union. Nobody got in touch. Nobody. Not a single response. That was early days when I said, I'm a good samplist and I just want singers to sing these songs if you're interested. I also said, if you've got any samples or audio pieces you want recycled, chopped up, let me know. Nobody got back to me. Not a single one. So anyway, Rhett sung that. And he sung my version. Every night I go to sleep and then I have those dreams. Oh, let me tell you now. Every night I go to sleep and then I have those wicked dreams. And the way he sung it was amazing. Amazing. He did such a good job. He really did. And then there's also Liquidator, Harry J and the All-Stars, Clive Willis, Trojan Records. I've got a piece of paper that says I'm allowed to promote that for demo purposes. And retrospectively, I still have. It's on my website, you can listen to it. But that was one of the songs I phased. So because my one tweeter was popped or whatever, I never noticed the phasing that was going on. And if you press mono, it cancels out, and I fucked up. But I had a good time fucking up. I really did. I really did. So I've been quiet a while. I might be quiet again a while. Don't know. There's no reason not to be doing stuff because this is now finished. Again, to you guys, it probably looks the same. I don't quite know. I'd have to look at old pictures. So I did have this table, but it was all one solid table all the way back. Now I can move this table and none of the speakers move, none of the monitors move, none of the shelves move. This table is independent. The only thing that weighs it down is the keyboard. This baby here. See, still connected. You have a 64 channel, that's correct, 64 channel MIDI channel recording studio here. 64 MIDI channels. Okay, there's only 3 bits of kit plugged in it, but that's what you got right here. And it's all plugged into OBS Studio. It's all ready to go live. 64 channels. Anyone want to donate some kit? I'm joking, don't. I hear what these live streamers do when they open boxes. You have no house left. Unless it's an O2R96, then get in touch. Or a 6000. But, so it's all ready. I've got decent speakers now, 2 headphone areas. The microphone, you know when you use these booms and I fucking hate them. I hate these bits of stuff that have to stretch over to do stuff. And then the only other downside is not having a webcam. And I don't even know what to do. If anyone can advise me, so it's OBS Studio. I don't like the idea of buying a webcam. I'd even consider buying a much better Android phone, or not iPhone, I ain't going there. I'm an Android person. That can be used as a live webcam as well. But I think you're talking £1,000. It's getting silly money, and I don't prioritise that side yet. You've got to bear in mind that I've done all these changes with stuff I already had. And okay, I bought the speakers second hand. None of it was brand new. Very cheap. But everything I've done here, I've resoldered all my own wires, used the existing ones, changed this, changed that. Honestly, I use the same stuff over and over and over again. I really do. And the boards I've used for the shelves and making the shelves down the bottom with the leftovers from doing the back attic. Never spent a penny on most of this, honestly. If I have, it's a £5 here or £10 there for brackets or screws or something. Everything there doesn't move. The speakers do not move. The only bit that moves is on this. It's a different. I made that myself originally just for the 3000 and the spare mixer, but now it's got the proper mixer, the 3000 and the 6000, and that's mobile. So you do have to plug a couple of leads in. So the lead dragged over is for this. I do have to plug 4 MIDI plugs into the back of the mixer for the keyboard. But once I'm finished, I can unplug and put the stuff away. It literally 2 or 3 leads you have to move to get everything working at once. That actually, yeah, the keyboard leads and the microphone. I don't like the idea of the leads swinging around with 2 stands for me and John. I have to minimise on that. Maybe the AKG phantom powered microphone hanging here, picking both of us up. That might be the idea. We'll see. That's for another day. And it's not that I'm trying to prioritise OBS Studio and live streaming. Nah, not at all. Because I do like working on the tablets. I love working on the tablets. I do want to eventually record with both. A bit like we did with the Quake thing, me and John, the deathmatch. But it's just accommodating for the future because I know where it's going. So I just have to, one step at a time. And like I say, John did his first live stream, my 7-year-old. He did his first live stream, and luckily I captured the audio because it was recording on the Windows 98 Studio PC. I had them both running, capturing the audio, and the tablet. He discovered this, not me. He used the Ninja website, ninja dot something, and what it does is your tablet live streams to Ninja and it sends back the signal to OBS Studio. Don't ask me how you do that. Ask a 7-year-old. So he got that working. He gets it working every time. It was him in the end that helped me getting the YouTube live streaming working, because you've got to copy keys and numbers and what the hell? He's typing it. Look, Dad, we're on. Okay, son. So isn't that amazing, eh? That's new generation come along. I learnt that off, what's his name? The snooker player. The young lad. Swore a lot. I keep telling this story, but I can't remember his name. When the BBC banned him, and he said, I don't care if you ban me, because I'll be back and I'll thrash every one of you again, because I'm still met. And in the end, the BBC lost so many viewers with the snooker. They asked him back, and he came back and says, I told you so. And he thrashed them all over. God bless you, sir. There comes it, and me and Mark go through this with the break dances. when you watch breakdancing now, and I don't know what that World Breakdancing Championship was, but that was a joke. That's all I'm going to say. That's a joke. I listened to the original Crazy Crew of the breakdancers from the movie Beat Street and what have you. Those are the real breakdancers, not this Muppet white Western interpretation. So anyway, me and Mark watched breakdancing now, and we think these guys aren't even touching the ground. How are they doing this? They're flying, and it's just amazing. The newer generations come along. They take things to a new level, and I bet this happens every 10 years, every generation. And then we all just sit back and go, wow, I thought I was good. And that's life, isn't it? That's life yet again. What fascinates me though now is I'm sitting in a room that can live stream studio quality audio. I haven't done it yet. I wonder what I'll do when I do. Wonder when you'll see me next. Can you see I'm all dressed up, ready for winter? Fucking cold out there, isn't it, eh? Some things will never change. I haven't got my jacket on. I've got 2 shirts, a jumper and a jean shirt, so that's not bad going. But I am warm. Normally I get cold hands and a cold back, and then I have to deal with it. I am going to stop now. 1:43. This has been recording for 2 hours. I do want to put something on YouTube. I want to try and be more regular on YouTube. Definitely not a regular weekly show. You can forget that. I've got a life. I've got a life, and I love my life. But I do love talking to you people out there, even if I only get 1 viewer. I'm a spiritual person. I don't need to change the world. I just want to help 1 light at a time. 1 light at a time. 1 light at a time. That's all I care about. Because that's all that helped me. 1 light at a time came along and enlightened me and helped me grow a little bit. And then it was someone else and someone else. And that's the good thing about YouTube. You can really talk to a lot of people out there that are like you. Of course, it can be used in a good way or a bad way. Right, I am going to sign off. It's been nice. It's not been emotional. It's been a wonderful journey for me. Like I say, in the last 2-3 months, I've spent more time up here working with drills, files, saws. A lot has gone into what you're looking at. And do you know the best thing about what I'm saying is, you would not believe how much has gone into this. And the God's honest truth is, you can't see it. And because you can't see it, that should be telling you what a good job I've done. Because it's not actually that bad. When I consider what I can achieve now, it's all there. All 64 channels waiting to talk. And they all work. Everything's working. I haven't wired the 3000 in yet. But that's so easy. It's just a bunch of leads at the back. It'll be a stereo pair out into the Yamaha Pro 1 in some way. Because a Yamaha Pro 1 has only got 16 channels. And the 6000 has 16 outs. And the keyboard's got 4 outs. And the Akai's got 8 outs. Do you see why I need a bigger mixer? And I'm not using D to A to D. I'm not going straight into a PC. I'll never do that. I'll do that for recording and playback and what have you, but not without a slider going up and down. And I never use them. I don't know why, but I don't want to go straight into a PC. I don't want to do it. I want the signals to come into the real world and have to go back. Yeah, I'll get a bit of noise, what have you. I can live with that. People, I love you. It's on 1:59:05, 6, 7. I'm not going to talk anymore. I just want you to know that I love you. God bless you. God keep you well. God keep you happy. Sorry about my eye. It just keeps watering. I might have to go and see a nurse because it's playing up. You can see it's a bit red. And I hope you keep doing what you do, and I hope you keep loving what you do. Love your life and be happy. May God bless you. May God guide you. And may God protect you. But JSM is off now. My cup's empty. Bye bye.